I hope I'm audible to you. Yes, and let me share my screen so that we will discuss the last time experiment which we have conducted. Okay, so this is the list of experiments which we are interested for this subject. Okay, so I guess there are only six students are joined. Is there any activity is going on, or is there any preparation of exam is going on? Can you please tell me? Yes, Gaurav. No, sir. Okay. So why the students are not yet joined? So it's already 11:30. So which paper you have today? You can unmute your mic. Okay. So I guess the students are preparing for the ITM paper. Is it so? Okay. Now the attendance is going to increase. Okay. So the Diwali festival is coming. Yes. I hope you are not doing the maintenance of your electrical equipments. Yes. Okay, so we will start with our today's point. So let the people has to join. So this is the list of experiments which we are interested, and these experiments which are the compulsory experiment, and this we are finished in the month of I guess September, which we have finished, and in the last time we are interested for this measurement of dielectric absorption ratio and polarization index of the insulation. This experiment we have finished. Okay, today we are interested for the seventh experiment, that is called as a measurement of insulation resistance of motors and cables. And the last experiment is the assignment, which is based on we have to identify or we have to pick any two electrical equipment in our house, and we have to study the construction, we have to study the working, and we have to study the troubleshooting of that particular electrical equipment. And what is the meaning of troubleshooting? So if there is any fault, or if can be a failure in that particular electrical equipment, then we can able to troubleshoot, we can able to remove the particular fault in the particular electrical equipment. Okay, so obviously in every manual, so if you are purchasing any electrical component or electrical equipment from the shop, yes, so they have going to provide the manual, and in the manual they are giving you the instruction like troubleshooting of the electrical equipment. So obviously there is a chart is available, and if you are observing some loose connection, or if you are observing some effect on that particular electrical equipment, then obviously there can be the action is available to troubleshoot that particular effect. So this is nothing but the troubleshooting of the electrical equipment, and we are interested for this troubleshooting of electrical equipment in electrical installation, maintenance and testing subject also. Okay, so this is the last experiment which we are not discussing today, but today we are discussing the seventh experiment. So let me count this experiments. So this is number one. Number two, estimation of 11 kilovolt feeders. So this is the number three. The fourth, which we have discussed, is the study of various types of earthing of electrical appliances and the measurement of earth resistance. So this was the fourth. The fifth, which we have conducted, or which we have seen, the thermograph images. This was the fifth. The sixth was the measurement of dielectric absorption ratio. And today we are interested for the seventh experiment. So those highlighted, you can see the yellow, we are interested for these experiments. Yes. So I have shooted the video also based on the performance of this measurement of insulation resistance of motors and cables, and the measurement of dielectric absorption ratio and the polarization index of insulation. At the end of today's practical, we will see that video also, and you have to write that particular reading in your lab manual. So make sure that you are having the pen and notebook with you, and whenever I'm going to ask you to write this observation table, then you have to copy that observation table in your notebook. Okay. Because we don't know at when the college will start, or at when the AICT or UGC will permit us to conduct the classes physically. Okay, so we have identified the middle way, that we are going to shoot the video inside the laboratory, that actually we are performing the experiments, and the connections we are going to explain you, and you have to understand that particular connections, that particular you can say the experiment, and at the final time or at the time of viva, you have to answer the questions. Okay. Now this is the aim of our experiment: measurement of insulation resistance of motors and cables. I hope the screen is visible to you and I am audible to you. Okay. So by the name of experiment, you can understood that, or you can understand that we have to measure. What we have to measure? We have to measure the insulation resistance of what? Of electrical motors and power cables. Yes. So this is our aim. I hope the screen is visible to you, to measure the insulation resistance of motors and power cables. Yes. So this is our aim. No doubt, this is the experiment which we have to actually perform inside the laboratory. Yes, but due to this pandemic situation, we will explain you this experiment first, and then we will see one video which I have shooted in my laboratory for you. Okay, so the apparatus, obviously we need the motor. They have not specified which motor you have to take. So for simplicity, I have taken the AC induction motor. Obviously, it is we have to use the single phase, because in my laboratory there is no availability of three-phase supply. In electrical machine laboratory, there is availability of three-phase supply. So for conducting this experiment, I have chosen the AC induction motor. So you can see the rating of this induction motor as we require the 240 volt supply, and it can carry the 0.5 horsepower rating. So it can drive the load of 0.37 kW, and the frequency which needed for running of this induction motor is obviously 50 Hz. The second equipment which we have needed is the power cable. Obviously, we have to make sure that, or the cable which we are using, less than or equal to 1100 volt. Yes. So we have used one, you can say, the section of this power cable. Yes. Obviously, we need to measure the insulation resistance with the help of Megger. I already told you Megger is not the name of that particular equipment. It is a company who have found this particular mega ohm meter. Yes, and obviously we need the connecting rods. Yes, there is a pre-lab question for you. What is meaning of the insulation resistance? So in a simple word, I'm going to say you, or I'm going to answer you this question. The resistance which is associated with the insulator, that is called as insulation resistance. And we know that the value of this insulation resistance must be in terms of mega ohms. So that is a information about the insulation resistance. And we know that inside the electrical motor, we have to use the insulator. Yes, for insulating the windings. Inside the, or you can say outside the power cable, we have to use the insulator. And at this particular equipment, we have to measure the insulation resistance. So I hope the aim is clear to you, what we are going to do exactly. The second question is very interesting, and you have to answer this question for me. Why multimeter is not used for measuring the insulation resistance. I hope you have seen the multimeters in the laboratory or inside your whenever you have performed the experiments. Yes. So we are not using the multimeter for measurement of insulation resistance. Is there any reason or is there any condition why we are not using that particular multimeter? So you have to increase your thinking in a such a way that you have to answer this question. So what you think? Low range. Okay. Obviously, the multimeter measures the different quantities. Yes. Inside the multimeter, we can measure the resistance also. Yes. But the value of resistance which we can able to measure inside the multimeter is of low range, or you can say of medium range. We have to measure the insulation resistance in terms of mega ohm. So mega, M stands for mega, and ohm is our symbol of resistance. Hence, we are not using the multimeter for measuring the insulation resistance. Obviously, there is a development of mega ohm meter. So let me put in the chat box, mega ohm meter they have found, or it is also called as megar, which measures a high insulation resistance. So this can be asked for you inside the interview or inside the oral for this EIMT subject. So mega ohm meter or megar is used for measurement of high resistance. Okay. So this is the answer for this question. Now we are interested for the theory. The theory is nothing but it is related to the insulation resistance. So you can say insulation resistance quality of an electrical system degrades with time. That we know, because the insulator degrade after some time, so it loses its property. Why? Because of environmental condition like temperature, humidity, moisture, dust particles. It is also get impacted negatively due to the presence of electrical and mechanical stress. So it's become very necessary to check the insulation resistance of the equipment at a constant regular interval. Why? To avoid any major fatal or electrical shock. See, if we are not taking care of our electrical equipment, if we are not doing the maintenance of our electrical equipment, obviously after some years they are into the failure state. Hence, we have to check a constant checking. That is nothing but the condition monitoring. Yes. And why we are to do the condition monitoring? Because we have to maintain our healthiness of our electrical equipment. That is the important point. So obviously there is a circuit diagram is available. So here you can see the insulation or you can say induction motor is available. Yes. So this is the induction motor is available. We have to make sure that this motor is separated from the supply. Yes. Because whenever we are going to conduct the test or whenever we have to measure the insulation resistance, we have to remove the supply from this particular source. Yes, and we have to use the megar, or it is also called as insulation resistance. So here you can see this is a megar which is available with us. Yes, this exactly megar which is available in our laboratory. Here you can see there are three terminals. The three terminal named as, I hope the screen is visible to you. So let me make again zoom. Okay. Now I hope this is clear or this is visible to you. The indicators are, or you can say the points are G. G stands for the guard terminal. L stands for the live wire or the live conductor. Yes. And E stands for the earth conductor. Yes. Now we have to not to connect this G, as we are not using the number of equipments in series with this motor. So we don't need to connect this G terminal, guard terminal. We have to connect this earth terminal to the earth of our motor. So you can see the motor is here, and this is the earth terminal they have taken out. Yes. So earth connected is to this earth point. The live or the line terminal is connected to the line wire. Obviously, we can connect this wire to this here also. ज्या ठिकाणी मोटरला कनेक्शन जाईल किंवा ज्या ठिकाणी मोटरला सप्लाय जाईल, that is nothing but the live wire. Yes, make sure that this is in off condition. तुम्हाला कळत असेल की स्टार्टर इथे यूज केलेला आहे आणि स्टार्टरची कंडिशन ही ऑफ आहे. इट मीन्स वी हॅव टू मेक शुअर our electrical equipment is disconnected from the supply. Yes, and the connection are very simple. We have to connect one L terminal to the line or the live wire of the particular motor. Yes, and E terminal is connected to the earth terminal of the motor. So this is the connection diagram or circuit diagram, or you can say experimental setup for insulation testing of induction motor. Same way, we have to use the power cable also, as they have mentioned the two equipments which we are interested. So here you can see the power cable is available with us. So obviously we have taken the section of the power cable and it is not connected to the supply. So here you can see there are 3 core conductor cable is available. Yes, and same way we are using the insulation resistance tester. So there are 3 terminals: guard terminal, line terminal or live terminal, and E terminal. So E terminal is connected to the body of this particular power cable. So obviously we have to use the measurement of insulation resistance. Yes, and this L terminal is connected to you can say the conductor for this power cable. तुम्हाला कळत असेल की आता हा पॉवर केबलच्या कंडक्टरला कनेक्ट केला आहे. कोणता टर्मिनल? एल टर्मिनल, लाइन टर्मिनल. येस, and E is connected to body of this particular power cable. Yes, so this is the experimental setup for insulation testing of power cable. Now we will go for the procedure. What is the procedure? The procedure is very simple. Firstly, isolate the electrical equipment which is to be tested. Ensure that electrical equipment is properly grounded. So this is the important precaution we have to take. Connect the meager ground lead to the same ground plane the electrical equipment is connected to. जे आपण वरती कनेक्शन करून घेतले ती प्रोसिजर इथे लिहिलेली आहे. ठीक आहे. The next terminal is connect the meager live or hot lead to electrical equipment winding lead. Winding lead जिथे असेल आपली तिथे आपल्याला ते लाईव्ह टर्मिनल आपल्याला कनेक्ट करायचं आहे. If testing individual windings, ground the windings not being tested. So हे त्यांनी प्रिकॉशन घेतलंय. Yes, set the meager for the proper testing voltage. तुम्हाला कळत असेल आता की मेगर म्हणजे हँड ड्रिव्हन जनरेटर आहे which produces a amount of 500 volt DC or sometimes 250 volt DC. आणि मग ते जनरेशन ऑफ व्होल्टेज कुठे जाईल तुमचं लाईव्ह मधून लाईव्ह वायरला जाईल तुमचं आणि दुसऱ्या टर्मिनल मधून तुमचं काय करेल अर्थ टर्मिनल मधून ते अर्थला पण जाईल. ऑब्वियसली दे आर नॉट कनेक्टेड टू इच अदर, सो दे हॅव गोइंग टू शो द मेगा ओहम रेजिस्टन्स. तुम्हाला कळत असेल ओपन सर्किट आणि शॉर्ट सर्किटचा रेजिस्टन्स काय असतो. ओपन सर्किटचा रेजिस्टन्स हा इन्फानाइट असतो. येस, बिकॉज सी यू कॅन सी this can be act as open circuit. इथे कंडक्टरला तुम्ही सप्लाय देत आहात आणि दुसरा टर्मिनल तुम्ही कसला कनेक्ट केलाय इन्सुलेशन इन्सुलेटरला. सो ऑब्विसली याच्यामध्ये ओपन सर्किट हे डेव्हलप झालं आहे आणि याच्यामध्ये तुम्हाला काय मिळेल मेगा ओहम हा इन्सुलेशन रेजिस्टन्स मिळणं अपेक्षित आहे. बट समटाइम्स द इन्सुलेटर जर डिग्रेड झाला असेल तर इन्सुलेटर मधून सुद्धा काय होईल इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पास होईल आणि इट कॅन ॲक्ट ॲज अ शॉर्ट सर्किट. हेन्स द रेजिस्टन्स विल शो हिअर विल नॉट बी इन्फानाइट, तो 0 दाखवेल मग. ठीक आहे, सो हा डिफरन्स तुम्ही लक्षात ठेवा. आय होप तुमचा शॉर्ट सर्किट आणि ओपन सर्किटचा डिफरन्स हा क्लिअर झाला असावा आणि दॅट इज अ रिझन व्हाय दिस इन्सुलेशन टेस्टिंग इज याच्या मागचं प्रिन्सिपल हेच आहे, ओपन सर्किट आणि शॉर्ट सर्किट. ठीक आहे. सेट द मेगर फॉर द प्रॉपर टेस्टिंग व्होल्टेज, ऑपरेट द मेगर and measure the resistance to the ground. What are the safety requirements For this, all equipments under test must be disconnected and isolated. हे आपल्याला प्रिकॉशन घ्यायची आहे. ठीक आहे. Equipment should be discharged or shunted or shorted out for at least as long as the test voltage was applied in order to be absolutely safe for the person conducting the test. जर तुम्ही कॅपॅसिटरचं इन्सुलेशन रेजिस्टन्स जर तुम्ही मेजर करत असाल, सो मेक शुअर दॅट द कॅपॅसिटर इज इन डिस्चार्ज कंडिशन. कारण की तुम्हाला कळत असेल कॅपॅसिटर इज अ डिव्हाइस विच स्टोअर द चार्जेस, आणि इफ वी आर connecting that charge capacitor to our electrical equipment or to our measure, then obviously we will get the shock. Yes. Never use the measure in an explosive atmosphere. So this is the safety requirement. Yes. Again, make sure all the switches are blocked out and cable ends marked properly for safety. तुम्हाला केबल हे आयडेंटिफाय करता आले पाहिजे की अर्थ टर्मिनल कोणता आहे आणि लाईव्ह टर्मिनल कोणता आहे. मेक शुअर व्हेन टेस्टिंग फॉर अर्थ that the far end of the conductor is not touching, otherwise the test will show faulty insulation when such is not actually the case. And make sure that all the connections in the test circuit are tight. कुठेही लूज कनेक्शन करता कामा नये, because we are supplying the 500 volt DC. आणि जर 500 व्होल्ट डीसी हे आपण हँड ड्रिव्हन जनरेटर मधून जर फ्लो करत असेल आपल्या मोटरला किंवा पॉवर केबलला, सो वी विल गेट इफ द कनेक्शन्स आर लूजन, देन इट विल बी डिफिकल्ट फॉर मेजरमेंट ऑफ दिस इन्सुलेशन रेजिस्टन्स. सो दीज आर द प्रिकॉशन्स. द ऑब्झर्वेशन्स वी हैव टू टेक. द ऑब्झर्वेशन टेबल इज made over here. So serial number is the first column. Equipment name is the AC induction motor. The observed value of insulation resistance, obviously we are going to observe this value on the insulation resistance, and we have to put the remark. Now the remark should be good insulation or bad insulation. Now tell me in which condition you are going to put the remark as good and in which condition you are going to put the remark as bad. हे थोडंसं मी तुम्हाला थिंकिंग कॅपॅसिटी तुमची वाढवावी यासाठी हे क्वेश्चन विचारतो आहे. मला कोणालाही टार्गेट करण्याचा उद्देश नाही, मला कोणालाही हर्ट करण्याचा उद्देश नाही. माझा उद्देश हा आहे की तुमची थिंकिंग कॅपॅसिटी ही वाढवावी. ऑब्झर्वेशन टेबल मध्ये तुम्हाला काय सांगितलं मी की वी हॅव टू यूज द इक्विपमेंट, वी हॅव टू मेजर द इन्सुलेशन रेजिस्टन्स, अँड बेस्ड ऑन दिस पर्टिक्युलर व्हॅल्यू ऑफ इन्सुलेशन रेजिस्टन्स वी हॅव टू पुट द रिमार्क as good insulation or as bad insulation. Now tell me, आता कोणत्या इन्सुलेशनला किंवा कोणत्या इक्विपमेंटला तुम्ही म्हणसाल की द इन्सुलेशन इज ऑफ गुड क्वालिटी और इन्सुलेशन इज ऑफ बॅड क्वालिटी? थोडस विचार करा, थोडस प्रयत्न करा, थिंकिंग वाढवा तुमची आणि मला याचा आन्सर थोडस देण्याचा प्रयत्न करा. क्वेश्चन समजला? येस ऑर नो? येस ऑर नो? थोडं दिवाळीचं फीवर आलाय का तुम्हाला? थंडी वाजते का? हा, येस येस, गौरव हॅज गॉट द क्वेश्चन. ओके, कोमल हॅज answering this question. Good for infinity, bad for zero value. Okay, I'm going to say if the insulation resistance is high, obviously yes, then the insulation is good. If the insulation resistance is low, then the insulation is bad quality. Okay, so I already told you that our insulation resistance must be in terms of mega ohm. जर ती व्हॅल्यू मेगा ओम मध्ये आली, yes, obviously 200 mega ohm, 500 mega ohm is the ideal value for the insulation resistance. Yes, obviously त्याला सुद्धा एक IEEE स्टँडर्ड आहे. yes, obviously आपल्याला स्टँडर्ड हे फॉलो करावे लागतात प्रत्येक गोष्टीसाठी, आणि जर ते स्टँडर्डची व्हॅल्यू ही चांगली आली किंवा त्या स्टँडर्ड मध्ये ती व्हॅल्यू बसली, सो वी आर गोइंग टू से दॅट इज अ गुड क्वालिटी. इफ इन्फिनिटी देन गुड अँड ऍट झिरो इट इज बॅड. ऑब्वियसली करेक्ट. सो आय एम गोइंग टू से लेस दॅन, यू कॅन से किलो ओहम. जर तुमची व्हॅल्यू किलो ओहम मध्ये आली किंवा त्याच्यापेक्षा कमी आली, सो दॅट इज ऑफ बॅड क्वालिटी. Yes, and in terms of मेगा ओम जर तुमची व्हॅल्यू आली, सो ऑब्विसली इट इज अ गुड क्वालिटी. सो हे एक रफ एस्टिमेशन आहे किंवा एक रफ तुम्ही कन्सिडर करू शकता. But obviously, we have to check the manual of this particular induction motor, and in that manual, they have to show the value of insulation resistance. Yes, and जर ती value ती त्या range मध्ये आली, so we have to put the remark as good and bad. Okay. So conclusion you have to write at your own, and there is a post lab question is available. State the types of insulation test. हे तुम्हाला क्वेश्चन हे शोधायचे आहेत. येस, तुमच्याकडे इंटरनेट सारखं चांगलं साधन आहे, त्याच्यामध्ये तुम्हाला नवीन माहिती मिळू शकते जर चांगला उपयोग केला तर. येस, अँड यू हॅव टू फाइंड आउट द टाइप्स ऑफ इन्सुलेशन टेस्ट. ऑब्विसली इन्सुलेशन टेस्ट करण्याच्या पद्धत सुद्धा आहेत, वेगवेगळ्या टाइप्स आहेत. दॅट यू हॅव टू आयडेंटिफाय और दॅट यू हॅव टू फाइंड. अँड एनलिस्ट द फॅक्टर्स अफेक्टिंग द व्हॅल्यू ऑफ इन्सुलेशन रेजिस्टन्स. सो मी आपल्या थिअरीमध्ये हा पॉईंट कव्हर केला आहे. येस, environmental conditions will affect the value of insulation resistance. Yes, so I hope the experiment is clear to you, and what is our objective. The objective is very simple. We have to measure the insulation resistance of our motor and our power cable. You can do or you can perform this experiment inside your home also. तुम्ही काय करू शकतात की तुमचा जो इलेक्ट्रिकल फॅन आहे तो सप्लाय पासून वेगळा करायचा. तुमच्या घरामध्ये मेगा ओम मीटर पाहिजे किंवा मेगर पाहिजे, आणि यू कॅन परफॉर्म द टेस्ट इंडिव्हिज्युअली इन युअर हाऊस ऑल्सो. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड एज अ रूटीन मेंटेनन्स or routine checkup. Yes, now we will perform the experiments. Yes, so let me share my screen where I have uploaded this particular video. So just a minute. Okay, so I hope the screen is visible to you, and now we are going to perform the experiment. हा एक्सपेरिमेंट हा लॅब मध्ये शूट केलेला आहे. येस, आणि हा खास तुमच्या थर्ड इयर इलेक्ट्रिकल स्टुडंट साठी शूट केलेला आहे. येस, सो बाय धिस पर्टिक्युलर रीडिंग यू हॅव टू राईट द exact reading which we have conducted in our laboratory in your lab manual. ठीक है, so I hope the screen is visible to you. Yes, now you have to find out the playlist from this particular channel. In the playlist you have to go for lab video of EIMT. Okay, and we are interested for this first experiment that is called as a measurement of insulation resistance of motor and power cable. So this video is of 7 minutes only. We will see the video because I have made the connection. I have uses the megar and induction motor and power cable, and based on the result of this particular megar, I have put the value in observation table. So you can see the laboratory setup is available in this video, and now we will play this video. Okay, so we will make the screen as 1080 pixel. I hope the screen is visible to you. Yes, is the screen is visible to you? You can unmute your mic because I have to go back again to check your response.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I am going to play the video. Okay.
Find out the insulation resistance for the electrical hours or electrical
resistance is nothing but the resistance which is associated with the insulator. That is called as the insulation resistance. And as we know that the insulation resistance must be or is equal to mega ohm. The value which comes in terms of mega ohm only. So we are interested for finding out the insulation resistance for our electrical motor or for the power cable. The operating table for this measurement is we have divided the four columns, the serial number, the equipment name, the observed value of insulation resistance, and we have put the remark in terms of wood insulation resistance, or it has the value which lies in the less value we are going to observe. So we have to put the remark as that. So the first serial number indicates the induction motor. So we are having the induction motor with us, and we are having the power cable with us. Now we will take or we will perform the experiment. So this is our megar, or it is also called as mega ohm meter. You can see the range of this mega ohm meter, which lies from 0 to, you can say it is the range is called as an infinity. Yes, and it is also called as a hand-driven generator. So whenever we are rotating this particular rotation of this particular knob, then we are getting the value of this particular voltage are going to produce. Let's say 500 volt. The amount of voltage produced is 500 volt DC, and we have to apply this 500 volt DC to our particular electrical component. The precautions which we have to take for this particular performing the experiment is that we have to remove our electrical connection for our electrical motor also, as well as for our electrical power cable also. So here you can see the terminals of this megar or this mega ohm meter are, this E stands for the earth terminal, this L stands for the line terminal, and this G stands for the guard terminal. We have to make the connection for this line which is connected to our conductor, and this earth we have to connect for our particular earth of the electrical motor or for earth of our particular electrical power cable. Now we will perform the experiment. So now we are interested for performing the experiment for insulation resistance of this particular induction motor. So we have taken the induction motor which is available in our electrical machine lab, and the capacity of this motor is as explained in the previous information. Now here we are having the two leads with us. First is the earth lead, and the second lead is related to the line lead. We have to connect this line terminal to our electrical wire which is connected to the induction motor, and we have to place the second lead to the earth of this particular you can say the enclosure. Yes, and in that way we have to rotate this particular handle. So if we are rotating this particular handle, we are going to observe a value on this mega ohm meter, and here you can observe the value which lies in the range of 200 mega ohm. So this is the value which we have to put in our observation table. So the 200 mega ohm is the good condition of this particular insulating material which is available for our electrical motor. So here you can see I have connected one line terminal to the you can say the conductor of this particular induction motor, आणि अर्थ टर्मिनल कुठे कनेक्ट केले बघा, याचे जे एन्क्लोजर आहेत ना, एन्क्लोजरच्या पॉइंटला मी अर्थ टर्मिनल किंवा अर्थ लीड हे कनेक्ट केलं आहे. वी आर नॉट युजिंग द गार्ड टर्मिनल. ओके, सो यू कॅन नोट दिस कनेक्शन. ओके, now we will go ahead. So now we are interested for our second electrical equipment, and here you can see this is the power cable. The range of this or the voltage which carries this power cable can be about 1100 volt. Yes, and we have to connect this power cable with our meter or our mega ohm meter. The connection is same as previously we have connected for our induction motor. The line terminal which we have to connect for our conductor terminal, and the earth terminal we have to connect for the body or let's say the insulating material which is available for our particular electrical cable. So this is the connection which we have to connect or which we have to use for measuring the insulation resistance of the power cable, and hence we have to rotate this electrical this hand-driven generator with the help of the hand we have to take the reading. Okay, so we have to connect here also. Yes. resistance in the observation table, and we have to write the remark as the insulating material is available in good condition. So we have performed the experiments of insulation resistance measurement for the electrical motor and for power cable. Now we have to put the values in our observation table. So our reading which came for our induction motor is 200 megawatt, and as you know that if the value lies in terms of megawatt, then we have to write the remark as good. So this is the remark which we have to put for our induction motor insulation resistance. The second reading which we have observed for our power cable is comes as 300 megawatt, and as you know that this value is also lies in terms of megawatt. So the amount of, or you can say the remark which is as the good. So these two electrical equipments which we have conducted for the measurement of insulation resistance, and we have observed that our insulation resistance is in the condition of good. So this was the experiment that I have performed in the laboratory, and that reading you have to copy in the lab manual. The reading was for the induction motor, the value came as 200 mega ohm. So you can write anywhere the notebook. I hope the notebook is available to you. For the induction motor, the observed value of insulation resistance is 200 mega ohm. And for the power cable, the observed insulation resistance value is 300 mega ohm. And you have to put the remark as good in condition. Okay. So I hope the experiment is clear to you. Yes. So just put in the chat box if you have understood this particular point. Then I conclude this today's practical. Yes. Yes, okay. So same way, all the other faculties are also trying to shoot the videos in their laboratory. Yes, so this is the first video which I have made in my own laboratory, and the second video soon, or you can say the remaining videos, I will try to shoot in the laboratory, and will send you the recording also. Okay. सो तुमचे काही सजेशन असतील याच्यामध्ये की अजून काही पद्धतीने करू शकतो का आपण, तर ते पण मला कळवा. येस. अँड तुम्हाला काही